Hey, what's up? It's Rash, and it's time again for Under the Tights, powered by the one and only Heroes Comics here in Fresno at Shaw and Highway 41, the Valley's choice for comics for now over 30 years. As you can see behind me, it is the Halloween season. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but that's what I'm recording it. Make sure you stick around to the end of it to let you know what books are out this week at Heroes Comics. Today we're going to be talking about the new Watchmen series, which is now available on HBO. We've done a couple of podcasts about the Watchmen in the past, but now that the show has aired, the first episode is available for you. I felt like now is a good time to kind of reset the stage for those who might not know exactly what this show is that people are talking about on HBO. The first episode was really good. And here's what you need to know. It's based on the graphic novel from the 1980s, published by DC Comics, but not really in the DC universe. The original Watchmen story is universally thought of as not only groundbreaking, but one of the greatest graphic novels in comic book history. There were no real superheroes in it, save one. Dr. Manhattan was the only character that had any kind of superhuman ability. Everyone else was really just vigilantes. And the story was set in an alternate 1980s world, where they had taken some real historical events and kind of did a what if this would have happened scenario, and then ran with that into the mid-80s. I think the big historical turning point that they use in the original Watchmen is the development of this superhuman Dr. Manhattan and what that would have meant to the world, to the United States in particular, had there been a superhuman around during the Vietnam War, and what kind of world would have transpired after that. So that's kind of where that one was taking place. The story overall, at its basic function, was a whodunit murder mystery. They're trying to figure out who killed one of the Watchmen characters from the past, and then it turns into kind of an apocalyptic conspiracy towards the end. Very dark, very adult, very grimy, and really very good. So, where does the show take place? Well, it's not a retelling like the movie was from the mid-2000s. They did a Watchmen movie. This is actually a companion piece to the graphic novel from the 80s. The show on HBO is supposed to take place in an alternate 2019 where the events of Watchmen continue on. So you're living in that same world that was developed, and now you're further on into the future as to like, where would we be now had the events in Watchmen also really happened. And again, very dark, very grimy. Some scenes might not be for everyone, but from what I'm seeing so far, really cool. I mean, I think the biggest things that you'll see in this that are like, oh, this is kind of like real world and kind of not. There's a lot of division in 2019 Watchmen America. You have a president who's been president of the United States for like 30 years. Police officers exist, but they wear masks because they're worried about people going after them. And superheroes are still illegal in this day and age. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. And as I said, if you remember in the first podcast we did mentioning this HBO show, this was timed out to take place in the same year that Game of Thrones wrapped up. HBO has been kind of looking for their next, I don't know how else to phrase it, like killer app that would be the must-watch show on their network with Game of Thrones ending. And they seem to have decided this is going to be it. They're putting a lot of money behind this. So far, it looks like it's going to be very good. First episode available now. Second episode airs on Sunday. So if you're not watching The Watchmen, start watching The Watchmen. One more side note, I mentioned that although the graphic novel was published by DC Comics, it wasn't really in the DC universe. That remained true until recently. If you've been reading the Doomsday Clock, which is taking forever to wrap up, they finally have tied these two worlds together, the standard DC comic book universe with this Watchmen universe, in what has been a really entertaining Doomsday Clock series, which is available for the most part. I think they're still, what are they on? I think they're on 12. It's not done quite yet, is what I'm saying. So I think there's either one or two Doomsday Clock books still to come out, but you can get the ones that have been written and made available at Heroes Comics right now. As for other books that are available right now, I was just kind of looking down my pull list. Flash 81. Anytime the Flash comes out, that's my boy. You know, I'm going to pick that up. You got Batman, as always, Amazing Spider-Man 32, and I don't know if you read the Star Wars comics. I mean, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so like I'll eat up anything I can Star Wars wise. That being said, they're really good, and there's a new one out this week as well. So get into Heroes Comics, pick up those books, and the holidays are right upon us. So make sure if you got a comic book fan in your family, you grab them something, a new hat, hoodie, something like that from Heroes Comics, the Valley's choice for comics for 30 years, Shaw and Highway 41. Now go watch The Watchmen, and we'll talk about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.